Welcome to NFT Deep Dive. On today's episode, I'm talking to Quokka Brew founder George Passantino. We talk about how he started the company while still in college, went on to raise over $72,000 from IndieGoGo, and their plans to launch an NFT project. It's a good one, so why wait? Cue the intro.
You think it's funny to take screenshots of people's NFTs, huh?
I don't think people understand when something comes along that changes the world.
Action. On today's episode of NFT Deep Dive, I'm here with George Passantino, one of the two co-founders of Quokka Brew, the world's first jitterless coffee. Him and his co-founder launched their company while still at UC Berkeley, and unlike a lot of founders, they didn't go down the traditional VC route to get funding, but ran an IndieGoGo campaign which raised over $72,000, which is 480% more than their initial goal of $15,000. We're going to talk about his backstory, how he launched his coffee company, and their plans to launch an NFT. George, thanks for being here. Super excited to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. I'm excited to share what we have going on.
Yeah, it's awesome seeing consumer brands jump into the mix of the NFT world. My background is actually in the consumer goods space with food specifically. I worked at a company called Incredible Foods in Boston. I ran their e-commerce and everything. So I have quite a lot of kind of connection to the industry. So I'm excited to hear about kind of how you guys are merging those two fields.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of, it's really weird because the D2C place and the CPG space play very well with kind of NFTs and Web3 as a whole. So we're really excited to be one of kind of the front runners, really trying to merge that space.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's trying to talk about, hey, let's build a community, and brands are really focused on community. And I feel like NFTs give a whole nother level to that community aspect. So super pumped to hear about all of that. But let's start at the beginning. First of all, tell me a little bit about your backstory that led you from kind of first, where'd you grow up? Kind of were you entrepreneurial growing up? Give me the backstory.
Yeah,
there.
absolutely. So I grew up in Palmdale, California. It's a kind of tiny little desert town outside of Los Angeles. So grew up there from the time I was born until I was about 18. And then I went out to Santa Barbara City College for a few years. And then I ended up transferring up to Berkeley, where we eventually had the idea for Quokka Brew. So kind of always been entrepreneurial. My co-founder Ofek and I have actually been friends since middle school. We've launched 4 or 5 businesses together in the past over the last few years. So it's very natural kind of doing entrepreneurial things with him. But yeah,
were they consumer businesses that you were working on with them before, or kind of tell me about something?
It was a lot of random stuff. We're the type that just get kind of fixated on weird random things. So we had various e-commerce websites, like kind of drop shipping stuff. We sold muffins in high school. We had like our own, we sold like camera equipment. So we've gotten like all over the map. Quokka Brew was our first like food and bev, like manufactured business. So it was a whole new kind of world. But yeah, we've always had kind of that entrepreneurial knack to us. But yes, we ended up going to Berkeley together, and it was during our junior year. We were studying for finals and just drinking a ton of coffee, and noticed that we were getting
everywhere.
Yeah, jittery, anxious, and eventually just completely crashing. So we thought it was weird. We thought like, what if someone made like a healthy jitterless coffee? And from there, we partnered with food scientists and chemists for about 6 months. We ended up developing a blend of amino acids and nootropics, which we infuse into our cold brew coffee, which eliminates the jitters and crash from caffeine. So our product is a ready to drink oat milk latte. And we've been running this.
I have one right here as well.
Yeah.
I saw this, the new flavor, cereal milk latte.
Yeah, so that's our cereal milk
looks
latte.
Awesome.
It's brand new. We're super excited about it. But yeah, so we've been running the brand for about 3 years. Right, it's going to be our third year anniversary in about 4 days from now, which is absolutely insane. Wow. We all graduated now, so we have 5 of us full time on it. So it started as like a small little side project, is now something that has like consumed my life in the best way possible. So now, rather than working in banking or finance, I get to wake up every day and sell coffee for a living.
Well, congratulations for being not in the 99% of CPG consumer food businesses that fail in the first year.
Yeah.
So it's awesome seeing that you kind of survived that and you guys are still here. So someone who's not kind of coming with a lot of experience in the food industry, talk about how you actually found you went from, okay, here's an idea for we can create a coffee without the jitters. How did you find these food scientists? Was it people you knew? Was it you were just going on LinkedIn and looking them up?
Yeah. So when I say we started with like beverage specifically with like zero knowledge, like I'm not exaggerating, like zero knowledge. I got really lucky in the sense that I met a guy that knew all about coffee, and he put me in contact with like all the people I needed to make or need to speak with. So our first product was in like a little glass bottle, and
I
he put
actually saw that. So
yeah,
I've little throwback. We're part of the same, I think, trends, right? We're part of
yeah.
the
So
same Facebook
Trends,
group.
yeah. So
And
Trends is
so
an amazing resource for us.
amazing. Yeah. So it's funny, actually, both you and my previous guest, both of them came from Trends, which is an awesome group that I keep plugging, even though I'm not, they're not a sponsor or anything here. But I saw you talk about it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I remember seeing the glass bottles, kind of totally different look. I think you were mentioning there that was like right when you were doing a rebrand and launching it, kind of in the same. It was the same look that it is now,
Yeah.
more or less. But yeah, it's awesome seeing how it came from kind of like, those initial glass bottles, which look, homemade, to this, which is very, very much legit.
Yeah, no. But yeah, it did not start like that. It started by like there was a Berkeley alumni that was like kind of really knowledgeable in the coffee kind of beverage space. And I just went in and was like, hey, like I'm trying to build a coffee company. Like, how do I do this? Like, what would you do if you were me? And he like kind of took me under his wing a little bit and like pointed me in the right direction. And we went out and we like kind of made a bunch of dumb mistakes, had a ton of fun, and it kind of allowed us to meet a lot of people. I also like to think that I'm the type that will walk up and talk to anybody. I'm also like not afraid of feeling like I'm dumb and things like that. So it's helped me figure out things a lot faster because I don't like
Definitely a good entrepreneurial trait is that going up, not being afraid to look stupid.
yeah.
I read a quote today, and it was like someone who asks a question they don't know about, like looks stupid for a minute, but someone who doesn't ask that question looks stupid for their whole life, or is stupid
Yeah.
for their whole life. I think it was a bit different. I think it was a Confucius or something, but it was a good quote.
So yeah, so that was being able to meet people that had a ton of experience. As you probably know, the CPG space is kind of an older space as a whole. There's not too many people that are like under 30 doing much in the CPG space. So it's a lot of like an old man's game in a way. So
I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of the legacy players, and then there's a lot of these like newer brands popping up, trying to definitely disrupt it, with led
yeah,
by like kind of young, energetic people that are like, I'm not going the traditional, getting my product into Target. We're gonna go launch a DTC first and figure it out.
absolutely.
So how would you fund it initially? I'm sure, because I was, in the food business, it's not free to do that. So I know you had the Indiegogo campaign.
Yeah, so we ran the brand for about a year and a half prior to the Indiegogo, which helped us kind of scale up. It's funny because when we were in college, like we were, typical broke college kids, like we had no money. We really kind of got our start because we launched in glass bottles initially, and the glass bottles were really expensive. Um,
How were you just making it like in a co-packing place? Were you just making
just
it in
in
your
a
dorm
little like
room?
commissary kitchen in Oakland. But
Okay,
we got our
cool.
start because we ordered glass bottles online and they actually shipped us the wrong item. They shipped us, it was actually
That
really
happens.
weird. They shipped us a bullet packing machine. Like, you can like make your own bullets at home. They
Yeah,
shipped us
yeah.
on accident. And we were like, we didn't order this. And they're like, well, you can have it. So then I went and I just sold it on eBay for like $600. So then that's how we actually
Nice.
got our start. So we got really lucky in the beginning. And then we just started by bringing a table down to UC Berkeley and just selling it to all of our friends. And we were profitable since day one.
You were
Um,
already pre-packaged in those glass bottles when you were selling it to your friends
yeah,
there?
exactly. So we
Awesome.
just
So word of mouth.
scaled up slowly but surely.
So you started selling on campus, and then how long till you launched your Indiegogo campaign?
It was about a year and a half. It was horrible timing because, as you know, like beginning of 2020 was right when COVID happened.
Was
So we
that
were
when the Indiegogo campaign was
Yes, we
happening?
were we were
Okay.
originally supposed to launch in January of 2020, and then that's when COVID started to get like really nerve-wracking. We're like, okay, like we'll push it out till like April. Like hopefully things will be better by April. And then April came around and it was like COVID was worse. So we start pushing back till May, and then we ended up like getting to July, and we're like, okay, we have to launch in July. And then we ended
But
up
it
launching in
seems
July.
like it was pretty successful with 72 grand. And did you initially set that marker low, kind of expecting to beat it, or was it like a total shock that you ended up beating
We
the
we
initial, I
like
think, 15,000?
we needed 25,000 to like actually launch our brand. That's like the amount of money we actually needed, but we wanted a lower target because people want to support brands that are doing well. So we felt like getting to 100% faster is the
That
best way.
helps kind of the algorithms also promote your
Yeah,
projects from what I've seen, and
yeah. But
people,
we
it
did
looks better for the optics.
exactly. But we did not expect to finish at the number that we did. We were hoping best case scenario we hit 25K from like by day 30, and we hit 25K in day one. Which was it was the absolute
That's
most
amazing. I'm
insane.
sure you were feeling super ecstatic.
Yeah, no, our landlords came up because we were being too loud, and we were like, "We just raised $25,000," and they're like, "Can you be more quiet?" I'm like,
That's awesome. Hey,
"No."
listen, if you're ever allowed to be loud, I think it's like when you raise $25,000.
Absolutely. So we ended up raising 72,000. Then we did like a post-purchase campaign, and I think it brought the total up to around 80,000.
That's amazing.
So we had a a really good campaign
What was the money initially kind of, what was the plan to do with those $25,000?
to produce as many of these as we could.
So
Um,
that was pretty much the point when you were switching from the glass bottles to these cans
yeah, so we needed like 25K to just fund our first production run, like in terms of it
with
was just
minimum order
yeah.
quantities and everything.
To hit the MOQ, we needed 25,000. So all of that money went back into just production.
Got it. Cool. And then were you doing any outside marketing too? Like, was that money being used for external marketing, or was it mostly word of mouth that you kind of grew the campaign and
Exclusively
everything?
word of mouth. We like most of the other because I talked to a lot of other campaigners prior to ours, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like if you need like $150,000 in ad spend," and we're like, our ad spend is like $40. Like we have no money right now. So we hung out flyers around our neighborhood, which actually drove like a weird amount of traffic. And then we just reached out to like Berkeley's community and like all the other people, like all the other campuses and people we knew across the country.
And so, how's it been going since the Kickstarter or since the IndieGoGo campaign for the
It,
last 2 years?
yeah, it's been crazy. It's flown by. We've had the most like insane fun time. Like we're in over 150 stores right now, which is I know it's small compared to a lot of other brands, but it's
That's
big
still
for us.
incredible. So
We're
150, you're in physical retail as well.
Yes. So we're in
That's
150
awesome.
stores. Our D2C's grown significantly. We're having a really exciting time. Our niche, which I'm going to keep on the down low, because no one really focuses on our niche, so I want to keep it ours. It's finally going back to full capacity like this week, and we just onboarded with a huge distributor. So we're expecting to kind of hopefully like 3 times in the next 6 months, like 3 times our revenue. So we're gearing up for an
Growth
exciting
stage.
2022. Yes.
That's amazing. Are you
Yeah.
in retail in California only,
We're Yeah,
or
we're
where, somewhere else?
exclusively focused. Currently in Berkeley in the Bay Area. We are
Hmm.
exclusively focused in California.
Cool. I lived a little bit in San Francisco when I was at Northeastern, so
Yeah.
a
So
little bit of that Bay experience in me. So now, let's talk NFTs. So it
yes,
seems like one thing, I was actually checking out your website, and it almost like you guys talk about yourselves, even though you're a beverage company. I really liked. I saw you basically an update of the versions of the drink. There was like a V1, V2, V3, where you talk about the changes between kind of, hey, the vanilla tastes more like vanilla, or I'm not doing the best job of explaining that, but that's similar to what I've seen. Like, that's what tech companies do with, like, hey, here's a new release, kind of, they talk about it. I haven't seen that a lot with food companies doing that. So now it seems like you're actually kind of almost becoming like a mini tech company diving into NFTs. So let's talk about that. What got you curious with NFTs? Are you taking part in the whole like crypto world, Web3 world?
yeah. So it's really funny because like I heard about. So I'm currently 23 years old. I heard about Bitcoin when I was like 13 or something. I went to an LA Galaxy game and the guy right next to me was talking about Bitcoin. So I went home and was reading all about it. So I've been involved with crypto for a while now, but I never knew like how can I combine my passions of kind of the tech space and like consumer packaged goods. So we've been into it for a while and it started just like
Were you
talking among.
buying like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and everything for years already, or
No, I've never like
no?
big money. So we actually, me and my stepdad bought a quarter Bitcoin when it was at $200, and then we
Wow.
ended up
Okay.
losing it. So we lost a quarter Bitcoin somewhere in the
In the
space.
ether. Yeah.
We cannot find it. I did get lucky a few times. Like I bought Ripple early and forgot about it, and then found it a few years later, and I was like, oh, this is nice.
Nice.
But never like the big guys that are like, oh, I put $1 million in 2013 and now it's worth 6 billion. So
Yeah,
never anything.
I'm still waiting for that as well. That'd be a nice feeling. Have you been involved in the NFT space for the last like year or so that it's been? I mean, it's been around for a few
Yeah,
years,
so
but I feel like last year it got really active.
I heard about it through Trends, the
Okay,
Facebook group that
cool.
we're in. So I heard about it through Trends, and I was like, this is interesting. So I got into it about January of last year. And it started with just like me and a couple of guys in our team talking about like, oh, this is really interesting, like just the concept behind it. Like, I wonder, we actually bought the domain quokkabrew.eth because we're like, we can do something surrounding our brand with this. We just didn't know what it was. And then it kind of started coming out, and then we're more reading about it. And then we're like, what if we did something that like allowed our community to like pre-order like our product and become like, not necessarily like stock ownership, but like in a way be more connected to the brand than just a regular customer. So that's really when we like started pursuing it as like an actual venture, as an actual like part extension of the Quokka Brew brand.
So
Um,
prior to that, you weren't kind of participating in any other NFT projects. You were just kind of
we bought some
observing and
stuff.
learning.
Yeah,
Okay.
we bought some stuff, but never like from a brand perspective.
Sure, yeah. I feel like that's just a new space, honestly. Brands participating. I mean, you have Adidas who jumped in kind of early, but in terms of CPG brands, like in the food space especially, I mean, there's not that many. I've read about a few players, but you're definitely one of the kind of first to I feel like be
Yeah.
merging those two worlds.
And there's been some people that have ran it more as like a money grab, which I feel like it's just not like it's not who we
It's
are.
like
Other brands,
90% of the projects right now are
yeah,
money grabs, if not more. It could be 99%. We're definitely in some sort of bubble, and I feel like it definitely. Gary Vee always talks about how it's early 2000s, late 99 when internet it's gonna crash, but the internet isn't going anywhere, and
yeah,
certain players are gonna stick around. A lot of the projects that are just riding the bubble, riding the wave, and don't actually have a lot of utility for their fans, for their participants, they're going to go away. And so
yeah.
I feel like utility is the thing that's going to matter for the
And
next
that's what we
five,
wanted. We
10.
didn't just want like a project that was just art or like just an image, basically. We wanted something that had more, like, I guess utility is the correct word. I know it's kind of everywhere now.
But I still think it's an important word. And the listeners of this podcast actually, they generally fall into the category of people who are learning about the space, who are still they're not like the guys who have been involved, guys, girls, everyone who's been involved for like 5 years, knows everything. Here, this is like educational spot where they're coming. So utility, we've been talking about it with our previous interviews. And I still think, yeah, as much as it's used a lot, like that's really what separates kind of bullshit project from a real project that gives a lot of stuff to its holders, a lot of kind of
absolutely.
benefits.
Yeah, no, it is what makes kind of a project that will stand the test of time, a project that will stand the test of time.
Exactly. So tell me, let's hear about your utility and your project. First, let's kind of start at the beginning because I want to break it down. So you have an idea for this NFT project. What are you guys doing? Let's start it from kind of the initial idea to like, do you have a designer that you're working with that's a friend? Did you go with an agency?
The idea shifted greatly over time. Like, we started with kind of a bigger project, and the ideas bounced around a lot over the last few months.
Hmm.
But the idea that we finalized on and the idea that we're launching in a few weeks from now is really interesting. So we started with just the core team of like, okay, we need, like, what do we want to do? Like, how are we going to do this? We decided going the generative art route just because we felt like it added the most diversity of kind of items, which is just cool. And we had a really good friend of ours that like we went to school with at Berkeley that knew about like how to do the coding stuff. I'm not the technical guy. So he became a part of our project, as well as an artist that we know that does really high quality art. So it's kind of been like all these weird people we knew. Not weird, that's not the correct term. All these random
Yeah,
people.
no, but yeah, people, I feel like everyone who's dabbling and stuff so early, they're proud weirdos.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I'm the same way. I'm a pretty
exactly.
unique guy, and I kind of lean into that.
So you're
So we
launching a generative project. Are you hitting like 10,000? Are you gonna make, or what?
no,
How
so
many are you planning to launch?
ours was different. So for us, like, I know that the whole thing that was really popular was launching like a 10,000 item mint, which is good. Like, maybe that works for some people. For us, we're only doing 500 items. And the
Okay,
reason
cool.
behind that is we want a really tight knit community. So one of the things that I've loved about the Trends group is that there's these people that it's just such a wealth of knowledge. Like we wanted to form a real community of people where they're able to network and meet each other and share advice. So we're kind of building like an entrepreneurial wonderland in a way where people can buy the project if they're aspiring entrepreneurs or currently entrepreneurs and join our Discord that's community only and be able to network with other people that are building really cool things. So it's like really community focused. And one of the other utilities that we're doing is that by purchasing we're calling it the Quantum Quokkas. That's what our art is called.
Okay,
Um,
the quantum? What is it?
Quantum Quokkas.
Quantum Quokkas. Love it.
Yes.
Okay.
So by purchasing one of the 500, you'll get a 12 pack of our brand new chocolate cereal milk lattes. You'll also be getting one-on-one mentorship with anyone on the founding team. So whether it's me, my co-founder, any one of the 4 founders of the project. You also will have speaker series. We've been really lucky to meet really influential people over the last 2 or 3 years in the CPG space, and we've already talked to them about coming on and giving presentations on like mental health and mental strength and how to found a company and the roadblocks that you'll encounter and how to get past them. So really providing all of the resources to become a really successful, well-equipped entrepreneur. So
That's
that's
really interesting. So
our
it's almost like you're not just targeting Quokka kind of super fans or Quokka users. It's really almost like you're building an entrepreneurial community that's kind of working with Quokka.
Yeah,
So like
it's almost like an entrepreneurial community that Quokka just is like a sponsor for. And people also by owning one of the Quantum Quokkas, they'll be able to vote on our upcoming flavors for Quokka Brew and really be involved in some of our decisions as a company. We also will be hosting in real life meetups in San Francisco and New York, where they'll be able to vote on like the food and like what flavor Quokkas we bring and random stuff like that. But overall, just building like a community where people can improve and become better versions of themselves in a community of very like-minded individuals.
That's cool. I personally almost like the smaller projects. I know that like to hit scale of the numbers that a lot of these big projects are doing, they're trying, have the 10,000. But I've been in these giant discords where there's like 50,000 people, and it's been a mess personally. Like I don't know if you actually get any value out of that. It's like either there's a million messages coming in a minute, and it's like you just can't keep up with that, or there's just kind of nonsense and there's a lot of people but not a lot happening because maybe that was happening initially, and then people are like, okay, well, I'm not going to participate because it's a mess, and then it just dies out. So
Yeah.
having a small number is actually really, really interesting, and I think can kind of give a lot more utility to its holders and better
Yeah.
connections.
It's weird because it's a little backwards. Like I know that with the 10,000 mint projects, like you're making, $2-3 million in like 30 seconds, which, that does sound really cool. But for us, like we wanted to say no to that short-term money to really build something that's really interesting. And like, it's funny because we make more money, significantly more money selling coffee than we do running this project. This project is just something that we feel like is so cool, that's so neat that we just want to be a part of, that we're essentially almost break even from it with
So
when
it's a
you
long-term play, it looks like,
it's
more so
100%
than kind of
long-term.
initial. You're not like using it to fund a new product line or something
Yeah.
along those lines.
Yeah. So
So
we're just really focusing on kind of that long-term value of like the project health because we didn't want to be a 10,000 person or 10,000 item project where the Discord's a whole lot of nonsense and it's kind of like, looks bad on us for trying to like just be a money grab um, rather than, caring about our actual community.
So let's talk about the money a little bit there. How much are these going to be listed for, and what chain are you guys launching the project on?
Yeah, so we are choosing to do it on the Ethereum network. In terms of our mint price, it's still kind of up in the air, so I'm not going to give a finite number. It's going to be around
Okay, trying to
0.05.
get some insider information here.
Yeah, no, we're with ETH being so we want to peg it to like a dollar value rather than just an Ethereum value, just with all the volatility. But we're going to be looking around 0.05 or 0.06. We want it to
0.05.
be like kind of an everyone's project. We don't want to gatekeep by making it, a 2 Ethereum like mint price or something ridiculous. So our goal is for it to be reasonable.
Do you have a strategy to launch kind of whitelist first and then a public sale, or are you just going to have a public sale?
Yeah, so we are whitelisting current Quokka Brew subscribers and supporters. So the people that have kind of been there for the beginning. It's weird. we've really curated a group of entrepreneurs within Quokka Brew. So it's been for those people, they're getting early access to it.
So you already have an existing entrepreneurial group set up that's
Yeah,
somewhere. Is it living like in Facebook or somewhere, or is it just
it's
email
really within
subscribers?
it's within our Discord primarily, and then just other kind of friends of the brand. We've always kind of put ourselves out there whenever there's like entrepreneurial kind of events happening. We'll go out and sponsor them or like drop off coffee or just be involved somehow and or give presentations. Um, I'm an entrepreneur. Like that is like kind of who I am in my core. Like I just love building things and I love being around people that are building things. So we've always kind of been around like involved in that space.
And so right now, what's the whitelist up to already? Do you have kind of people? Because 500 is kind of small
Yeah,
number. Now it
yeah,
seems like that could fill up real quickly.
no, it's not gonna be any like we're not gonna all 500 will be whitelisted. It'll only be around 30 or 40. Like it's a small group.
And so you're saying you've already had a Discord before this NFT project for Quokka?
Yeah, it's really weird. We our first niche that we hit really hard and really well was the sneaker community. So the people that bought and resold sneakers.
How did
as
that happen?
as weird as that sounds, one of the guys on our team, Kevin, he was involved with sneaker reselling when he was in high school and then in college. And he just had connections in this space and was like, "Hey, like, would you guys want a coffee sponsor?" And it got to the point where we were the only and number one coffee in the space. So we powered like hundreds and thousands of kids all across the United States to wake up at 5 in the morning and buy 400 pairs of Jordans. Um,
No way. That's really interesting. And so you grew the Discord from that. Was it mostly like sneakerheads in there, or was it mostly people that are kind of there for the brand Quokka?
it was a lot of sneakerheads. So it's and it's really cool because these a lot of the kids that are buying and reselling, I say kids, but the people that are buying and reselling shoes, they're
Yeah, I mean,
all kind of like hustlers, entrepreneurial types. So
and they're really part of this culture. I feel like if it's sneaker, like anyone who collects really gets the NFT world.
yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they kind of cross, it's really when it comes down to it, a lot of the people just collect these things, whether it's
Uh-huh.
art, whether it's utility. I feel like a lot of people are just collecting it for the art, but there's a lot of crossover there where you find a good asset that you think is either underpriced or it's going to be more valuable and flip it.
Yeah, exactly. So it fit very well.
And so, do you think they're going to be involved in Quokka's NFT project? Like, is going to be a lot of sneaker people from that world, or are you merging like more into like the business food world, or is it
It's
just
a
all over the place?
Yeah, it's a combination of both. The sneaker community is a little smaller than kind of the mainstream CPG space that we're in. But there's a lot of people that were reselling sneakers that are now founding companies and doing other really exciting things. So we have kind of our niche within sneaker founders or sneaker entrepreneurs, and then people that are more in the CPG food space.
Do you already have a website set up for the project, or now?
It is in
Is it open for the public?
not yet. It'll probably be live in the next 2 or 3 days. Well, I guess when you publish this, it will probably be live.
Yeah, this will probably be out kind of in the upcoming week, so first week of February, something along those lines.
Yeah. So our website's it's quantumquokkas.com.
Cool. I'll link that in the bio for everyone
And
listening
I'll
or
send you
watching.
the link too.
Sweet. And so when are you planning to kind of announcement to launching it? How long and what's the strategy? Are you just relying on email and your already existing customers, or are you reaching out to some new people as well?
It's a combination. I mean, for us, we have a few different growth strategies. One of the best channels, I guess, for acquisition of interested people has been TikTok, interestingly enough. We've also been on a few podcasts, which has helped drive a lot of traffic to the Discord.
Have you
Um,
you've talked about the NFT project on TikTok?
yes. Yeah. So that's been one of
Cool.
the
In
things that's helped us
your
grow.
own videos from Quokka or like your personal videos?
We started a separate video for or a separate TikTok for Quantum Quokkas.
Cool. Okay. I was just reading how actually TikTok they're announcing some sort of ban on people promoting cryptocurrencies. So I don't
Oh,
think that
interesting.
that falls into like NFT specifically
Uh-huh.
yet, but I'm like, oh, it could go in that direction. But for now, yeah, I mean, TikTok, you get crazy reach. Were those just videos where you explained, hey, we're launching this, or and
Yeah,
like how do they
essentially.
get good reach?
There's some, it's funny, the brand focused ones haven't exploded. We've had some people promote our project just talking like, oh, this is a project I just found called Quantum Quokkas. And those have gotten a lot bigger. So the like other people's videos about our project have been the most authentic and the most beneficial for us.
Did you see if those people who were getting a lot of views were they kind of like NFT influencers or just
Yeah,
random
so
people?
they're random people. We didn't like promote them or talk to them prior. They just found our project and just decided to talk about it.
How they find it? So it's out there in the world somewhere already. Like you
Yeah,
published
our
about it.
Twitter. So we've promoted the project from Quokka Brew's Twitter. And we have about
Okay, cool.
9,000 followers on there. So that's we have a decent we had a decent following already on our Twitter.
Got it. So I guess back to that strategy. So you're launching, you're reaching out. You've did some of those kind of videos, podcasts. You're pretty much just relying on those.
Yeah, so it's a little we're going more the organic route rather than like the grow fast, grow fast, grow fast, like pay an influencer $40,000 to make a video about us. We're focusing more on like the word of mouth aspect. Like we're hopping in discords with entrepreneurs and saying like, hey, this is a project we're building. We think it's going to provide a lot of utility and a lot of value. Like if you want to check it out, feel free to join our Discord. And that's been like the most authentic kind of real way that we've had success growing our Discord and like kind of our community as a whole.
How do you find good discords? What do you personally kind of like? What's your internal judgments that you run when you decide what's good, what's bad?
It's hard. I think for me, I've always liked so it's two things. Discords that I've gotten a lot of value at have been price gated discords. So there's like a little bit of a hump that you have to buy in to actually get access to the Discord, even if it's just a couple dollars a month. It kind of cuts through like the people that are just on the Discord to send like annoying messages versus the people that are actually there to like create value. Like I know Trends has a price gate to get in. And
And
you
I
know,
think that's definitely. Let me just explain Trends to everyone because I've mentioned it a few times. Trends is this. It started as a newsletter. It's like a combo of a Facebook group and then a website that has a newsletter and some other stuff. I personally only use it for the Facebook group because of the people in it. It started by this guy Sam Parr, who's the founder of a newsletter called The Hustle, which he sold to HubSpot for like 30-40 million dollars, I think, something like that.
a lot.
And the group, yeah, a lot of money. Dude's an awesome guy. And the people in this group are either successful entrepreneurs who've already had kind of their hits and they're, you know, have a lot more money than me, or other kind of upcoming entrepreneurs. A lot of really good people, and it's gated. Like George said, it's $300 to join. I think somewhere along those lines. And so those $300 make it definitely much higher quality because every year you have to kind of make a decision. Am I going to pay the $300 to stay in it? And if you don't pay, you get kicked out of the group. So it's not just that you pay and you stay in forever. It's you really have to make the decision. And so price gating works. Definitely, at least in my experience. And
Yeah.
so yeah, that's Trends.
Twins is a crazy high quality group. I cannot even say the amount of value that we've gotten out of that group. It's been phenomenal. It's crazy. I never expected it.
It's amazing. I think honestly, if they also are potentially sitting on a gold mine if they want to go down the whole NFT route. Doesn't seem like they're going to be doing it, but I think there's a lot with, it all comes down to strong community, which is something that they have.
Exactly.
But going back to Discord, so are these entrepreneurial groups or
Yeah. So
that you're
it's
paying for? And even with that, like, how do you find them? Because with me, like Discord, I have this love-hate relationship where like I'll pretty much anytime I see an interesting project, I'll just jump in the Discord, and I'll dig around. And honestly, I haven't found there's been several discords I found that actually have value, and those were almost part of like I did this computer class at Harvard. It was like coding 101 or something like that, and there was a discord that went along with that class, and there was like 100,000 people in it because everyone who's ever done the course is in it. Super helpful. I was like posted a question and like people were answering, and that's useful. A lot of these kind of other ones, NFT projects, like I mentioned, they're a mess. So and then finding good ones kind of difficult. So what do you do?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there's so many Discord channels that there's a lot of, either dead channels that no one talks in or ones that people talk in way too much and just send like, hi, 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 hi. So
Yeah.
it's probably the
Good
combination.
morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Um,
get it.
the channels that we've found like are the best kind of fit for us are the smaller ones that aren't like huge, like they have a couple thousand members and they're just really engaged, passionate people. So they're people that really enjoy the group or the project, whatever it may be, and are really just engaged. So we've actually
Do
had
you
like
have any top of mind that you can just mention, or are these like secret groups that you have to be like invite only to get into?
they're not invite only. There's some like ones that are capped memberships, like there's NFT resale groups and things like that that are capped to get in. We've never had success with them. But there's stuff like arbitrage ops that's all about reselling on Amazon and being a successful Amazon entrepreneur. I've been a member of that for a few years now, and it's been a really great resource for me personally. It's helping us Quokka Brew expand on Amazon.
So
But
did you
like
post about your NFT project in that group as well?
yeah, just it's like share your projects where you can post about your stuff. So I just dropped it in there and people ask questions and stuff like that. There's also been just general like Shopify entrepreneur stuff, and D2C entrepreneurs and different like CPG focused stuff. It's been really there's no real good way to find Discord groups, interestingly enough. It's
Just
not like
trial and error.
yeah, and I'll reach out to people I know like, hey, do you know any like Discord groups? Are you a part of anything good? And I've kind of combed through like the weeds until we find a good one and kind of just become a part of the community there.
So has Discord been the most kind of successful route to get new traffic for you guys for this
For new
project?
traffic,
Or,
in terms of quantity of traffic,
or just like
yeah,
interest for this project
yes,
and stuff like that,
yeah.
awareness?
The highest quality, like the people that are 100% going to mint our project that are going to be buying Quantum Quokkas has been just kind of friends of the brand and friends of that we've met through our years with Quokka. Whether it's from a customer perspective or from like just another founder perspective.
You've emailed like and told all your customers about the project?
Not yet.
Is that in the pipeline, or you think
Yeah,
that's going to be
once
too big of a
we
net?
wanted to present. We've been kind of on like the down low in terms of our entire plan. We actually haven't even announced completely that it's a 500 item mint. We wanted it to
Cool. So we
be.
have some breaking news.
Yeah, you have some breaking news. We wanted to be a complete 100% final, like ready to ship project before we go out and announce things.
And how much did you spend to get to where you are?
In terms of Quantum Quokkas,
Yeah, like Quantum Coco's, just specifically on that project, like how much did
yeah.
you put into it?
So we
Anyways,
haven't spent too much. I mean, our Discord server, I think all of us are server boosters, so it's like $30 a month there. And then our website that I think it's a Shopify website is like $30 a month there. So it hasn't been like we haven't poured money into ads, we haven't paid influencers. We really have taken the organic route. So we haven't
in the
spent
development, you've been fully in-house with kind of the
yeah,
team, so you
yeah,
haven't spent money on that.
yeah.
That's good on you. I was
It's
talking to a
expensive.
previous project, someone else from Trends, and actually it's a Geisha Tea House project, and
Mhm.
they spent somewhere I think $120,000 on development. So yeah,
It's expensive.
it can definitely get expensive. And then talk to me a little bit about the once members are part of this group. Is it something that you basically the NFT will grant you access? Is it going to be the Discord? Or are you going to open kind of a new Discord for members only? And then if members are selling it on the secondary market, are they out of the group and then the new people come in? How's that going
Yeah.
to work?
So essentially, the way it works is there's going to be locked channels on our Discord that you have to connect your wallet and actually verify that you have the token in your wallet. There's some really awesome integrations with Discord right now.
That's
Um,
cool. So there's already like a pre-made integration that you can connect to your Discord, and it'll basically connect to someone's MetaMask or their
yeah,
OpenSea,
and
and
it'll see that like you own this you own this NFT, so you're able to join these channels. And if you sell it or
that's
remove it
awesome.
or transfer it, you actually get kicked out of so it's automated. So
That's
we're
really cool.
starting there, and then depending on what our community wants, we're willing to open another Discord that's more focused on just the members, or transition over to Slack or Facebook or just something whatever's most native for everybody.
And so when someone leaves, they basically lose access to those
Yes,
channels.
they lose access to those channels. They're still in like the general chat that's non-members or yeah non-owners. So they get access to that, but not the members chat.
Cool. And everyone you said that is a holder gets free Quokka or one shipment
Yeah,
of
so
Quokka as part of it?
they get a free 12 pack of Quokka Brew's brand new cereal milk latte. So
Awesome.
right after mint, we're taking a snapshot, and everyone that has the item in their wallet will get sent a free case of coffee. So that's where actually a lot of the money that we're getting from the mint is going, is actually just shipping out 500 cases or
Just paying for the
3,000.
product.
Yeah.
Do you think that most of the people are going to be existing Quokka users or people who've tasted, or you're going to get kind of new customers for Quokka from that?
I think it's going to be a combination of both. I think a lot of people in our Discord already have just said like, I want to try the coffee. So they've ordered us on Amazon and stuff like that. So I think we'll get some new people, probably about like 50-50, some existing, some new.
That's cool. I mean, that's like a really interesting
Yeah, it's a different
indirect marketing campaign for your product.
Yeah, with Facebook ads getting more expensive, it's, it's this is a different route, but it's we'll see how it works.
So, what about your time? How are you splitting your time right now between Quokka and then this NFT project? Is it taking a lot of your time?
So I guess more about our company. So we're a small team, we're 5 people. But we like to run our company like a Swiss watch. Like, so we time block all together. We sit down on Sundays and time block for what we're all could be working on throughout the week. So right now we spend about not too much, about 10% of our time on kind of building the NFT group and like NFT space or NFT project within Quokka Brew. So it's not a huge percentage of our time. Over the next 2 weeks, we're expecting it to ramp up slightly to about 15 or 20%, but not an insane amount.
How are you managing the community on Discord? Is it just kind of ad hoc? Do you have a dedicated community manager?
Yeah, so it's a combination of myself, and then we have 2 other guys that are just in our Discord that are constantly sparking up conversation and making sure that people are being polite and acting how they should. And we also have other members of our Discord that are like our community helpers. So those people are the ones that are just in our Discord constantly, and they're able to be a helping hand. They've been a part of the Quokka community for a while now, and they're able to help us with our building our community.
So that's kind of like the whitelist crew,
Yeah, so
probably
the
the people who
whitelist
are
crew.
like hyper involved.
Yeah, exactly.
And whitelist, for everyone who doesn't know, because we get new listeners every time, is basically projects when they launch, they create a whitelist and a limited amount of people. Usually it's like the super involved participants in the Discords. Some people that win giveaways get to participate in those whitelists. So let's say, you guys mentioned you're probably gonna have like 20 people or so in the whitelist. And so those people have access to buy the NFT early. And then there's the open sale, and that's when the general public is allowed to buy the NFT.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
yeah, little education there. And so is everyone on the Quokka team involved in NFT or no? Because I assume like I mean you're a beverage company, so you probably have people like doing production or fulfillment. So
Yeah, so
I assume they're not.
Not everyone on the Quokka team is currently working on the Quantum Quokka project. They all kind of see it and are all like, "Oh my god, this is so exciting!" But not everyone's focused on it.
And the people on the Quantum Quokka project, they're all involved with Quokka, or it's basically kind of like two separate teams ish, and then they're merged
It's
in the
kind of two
middle.
separate teams that are coming together to work on Quantum Quokkas.
Cool. And so basically it's like it's a new way for you guys to advertise your product. That's really interesting.
Yeah,
What are your thoughts on the kind of CPG and NFTs in general? Do you think we're going to see more and more companies launching NFTs or
I think about this often. It's a really interesting time because you see big companies like Time Magazine and I like Bud Light and Pepsi and all these brands do these NFT collaborations, but they don't seem like organic. Like they seem like they're doing it to become popular and not to really provide any value to anyone.
I
So I think
agree. I feel like what I've seen there, it's almost like they're like, oh, we have to be involved in the NFT space, but like I don't know what we want to do in the NFT space. Let's just throw something and throw either a title at somebody or launch some irrelevant project. But they're not really connected to the brand.
yeah, so I think there's a lot of big corporations that are going to do kind of bad things and kind of maybe tarnish the reputation of CPG and NFTs kind of working together. But I do know there's a lot of interesting people that are building like kind of collaborative things. Like I know there's a group called Crypto Packaged Goods. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
I think I saw it a little while ago actually. That's
So they've
um
done some really great things in the space. There's also like brands like a new startup that just launched called Perfy, I believe it's called. That is launching a sparkling water. I think I'm pretty sure.
I've
Um,
seen there's like derivatives of like the Bored Ape Yacht Club and stuff where they're like Bored Ape, I think Bored Ape Coffee. So
yeah,
you might
yeah.
have a competitor coming up in that space. But I've seen people doing that. I don't know how successful that is. I mean, I saw like a World of Woman tea launch, which World of Woman's also like it's a giant NFT
They're
project.
huge.
And basically with their project, they allow people to have actually rights to the images. So one of the holders launched the tea company using her World of Woman image. Something like that, though, I think it basically has appeal only to the World of Woman holders. No one else is going to care. So it's interesting, but I don't know if like a brand that relies solely on one NFT trying to sell it to that community is going to survive. But
Mhm.
it's really interesting seeing the place kind of evolve and move all over the
Yeah,
place.
and honestly, like who knows what's gonna happen? I think the one thing that I've learned in my time in the NFT space over the last year and a half or whatever it may have been, it's just that everything moves so fast. Like the things that were big news like 2 months ago, like everyone's forgotten about. So the space moves so fast, it evolves so quickly. There's been so much insane innovation in the last year that
If
I
you
can't
watch a
even,
YouTube video about the NFT world and it's like from 2 weeks ago, you're probably out of date already.
yeah.
It's like it's literally moved that quickly. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
it's
it's
definitely a fast moving world.
I have no idea what the future holds in the NFT space. All I know is that we are trying to be on the cutting edge of it, to building something that's genuinely collaborative and interesting and kind of changes the world's perception of CPG NFT. And we're not just stopping where we're at now. Like we have future plans that I'm not going to announce yet because they're not unveiled yet.
Ideas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what we're going to do post mint, of how we can push the envelope even further as the technology progresses.
Cool, man. Well, I'm super excited to see kind of the progression of your project and kind of how, an early player in the CPG NFT space evolves. So I
Yeah.
think that's going to be awesome. I'm excited to kind of keep track of that. Maybe we'll even have you on in like, let's say a few months. Once it's launched, we can talk about kind of the progression, how it all went, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff that happens with during the launch and just all around that. So super excited for that, man. Thanks for coming on. It's been really interesting to hear about Quokka, your backstory, your NFT project, Quantum Quokkas, and looking forward to the project launching.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me on. It was a blast to be able to share everything that's, we're up to and more. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, and check out Quokka Brew. This stuff actually tastes really good. This is the cereal milk latte version, and it literally tastes like chocolate cereal milk. So, yeah, give it a try. Hope you enjoy. See you next time. Peace!